8 years ago, a secret organization was founded whose goal was developing the minds of children, so they could help Japan rise again. And indeed they organize a conference called Peace to present their plans, and they begin gathering intelligent children and placing them in an orphanage. And from here the dark side of the plan begins, because they subjected the children to the harshest kinds of psychological torture, by erasing their identities and stealing their names, and also each child had a number that represented him only. Besides that, they were giving them chemical substances to raise their intelligence level and mental abilities, but unfortunately those medicines had deadly side effects, and most of the children died because of them, and those who remained were always suffering from chronic headaches and physical weakness, and that is what would lead to their death at a young age. But on one of the nights, the child 9 and 12 start a fire inside the orphanage, to disrupt the system and be able to escape easily, and indeed the two children manage to jump over the wall, but at the same time, they fail to save a girl named 5, who was always sitting with them, and they believe that she died, and in the end, they are the only children who survived that experiment. And since then 9 and 12 decide to take revenge on the people responsible, and they begin a series of terrorist crimes to expose the government, and let the world know about the suffering of the children in the orphanage. And after 8 years, we see 9 disguised as one of the employees in the nuclear facility in Japan, to steal plutonium material, which is the basic material in manufacturing nuclear bombs, and at the same time 12 is outside the facility, riding a car and heading quickly toward the gate, and before the guards close the gate he throws a bomb at it and blows it up. So great chaos happens inside the facility, so 9 takes advantage of the chaos and steals the bomb from the place, but before he leaves there, he leaves them a strange word on the ground, which is Vion, and he goes out and finds 12 waiting for him on the motorcycle, and they escape from the place. And after 6 months, we find 9 and 12 walking in the streets of Tokyo. And while they are walking 12 hears a sound coming from the school. So he jumps over the wall to see what is happening, so he sees a girl named Lisa, standing in front of the swimming pool, trying to jump into the water, but she is unable because of her intense fear, and around her friends are standing bullying her, and one of them tries to push her into the water, but Lisa resists falling with difficulty, so as soon as 12 sees that scene, he runs and jumps into the water, to help her break her fear. So Lisa's eyes shine, and she feels a strange feeling. The first time she finds someone supporting her, so 12's smile gets engraved in her mind. And on the other side in the records office, we see an employee sitting working named Shibasaki, and he used to work as a detective before, and his assistant whose name is Mukasa is sitting with him, and the two of them see a strange video on the internet, for two called Sphinx, who are 9 and 12 but disguised. And they say in it that darkness will spread in Tokyo tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and there will also be fireworks in the government building. But they do not take the video seriously, and they do not care about the matter. And at the same time, Lisa takes her lunch and enters the bathroom to eat it there, because she wants to escape from her friends bullying her, and also wants to be alone. And suddenly Lisa hears the sound of her mobile phone, so she takes it out to see who is messaging her. And she finds her mother sent her many messages to know where she is, because she has a mental illness, because she lost Lisa's father, and because of that her mother treats her with all harshness. So Lisa takes the food that her mother made and throws it in the bathroom, because she is rejecting her mother's control over her, but she is unable to confront her. And at night 9 is sleeping in his bed, and he dreams of the night of escaping from the orphanage, and nightmares chase him because he could not save his friend 5, so 9 wakes up startled from sleep, and he goes to drink some water, and after a while 12 asks 9, "Did the nightmare come to you again? I know that the past in the orphanage was difficult, but I expected it would come to you again, because Lisa resembles the children who were in the orphanage. I am sure she moved something inside you when you saw her." So 9 looks at him with a sad look, and tells him the children in the orphanage were weak, and we were also like that, because we could not save them from the tragedy they lived through. And on the next day, 9 goes to 12, and tells him the electricity will cut in 3 more minutes, and we are supposed to have half an hour until the electricity returns again. We must use that time to finish our plan quickly, and at the same time, Lisa appears behind them, and when she sees them Lisa gets afraid to go talk to them. And she runs quickly and goes to the bathroom to sit alone, and suddenly she hears the sound of her mobile phone, and she finds her mother sending her many messages like every time, so Lisa looks at the phone with tears in her eyes, and wishes that someone would come save her from what she is in. And after a while, the city's electricity cable gets cut, and all forms of life stop working, so Shibasaki, the employee working in the records office, feels something strange, and remembers the words of Sphinx that he heard yesterday. So he asks his colleague Mukasa to show him their video again. So when he plays it, Mukasa says their words are surely just coincidence. But Shibasaki, since he was a former detective, felt the matter was bigger than that. And on the other side in the government building, panic spreads among people, and 9 and 12 take advantage of the chaos that happened to plant their bombs in the place. But the strange thing about these bombs is that they are in the shape of a doll. And at the same time, Lisa is alone on an abandoned floor of the building, but she is surprised when she sees 12 there, so she calls him out in surprise. So 12 turns his face smiling a terrifying smile, and asks her what are you doing in a place like this, and throws her the bomb that is in the shape of a doll, and tells her keep it with you, and do not let go of this doll from your hand. But Lisa is confused and does not understand anything, and tries to talk to him, but he takes himself and leaves quickly. And at the same time, 9 is standing outside the building waiting for the electricity to come back, and as soon as they turn on the generator, 9 activates the bombs through his phone, and suddenly the doll melts and intense fire comes out. So the water sprinklers hit the place to put out the fire, but the strange thing is that the fire increases more, because of the reaction of the water with the chemical materials in the bomb. So 12 goes to him and tells him there is a small problem. I met Lisa in the place there, and gave her one of the bombs I had, meaning you can kill her at any time, or you can save her from death. I said surely this is the best way I can help you with, so you get rid of the orphanage nightmares that chase you. And after that 9 calls Lisa and tells her you have 2 choices, either you die in your place, or you become a criminal like us. So Lisa looks at him shocked, and becomes very confused because she does not know what to choose. And after thinking, Lisa decides to join them, because she wished someone would come save her from what she is in. So 9 orders her to listen to his words so she can know how to get out of her place, and starts guiding her to escape from the place. So 12 rides his motorcycle and goes to her to save her, and while Lisa is trying to escape, 9 orders her to leave the doll on the ground and run beside it. And after that 9 detonates the bomb, to create a place to escape. So when Lisa goes to the explosion place, she sees 12 standing and signaling her to jump, so Lisa gets very afraid, and remembers the bullying that happened to her at the swimming pool, because of her intense fear. So Lisa gathers her courage and decides to jump, so 12 grabs her quickly and they escape. And after a while 12 and Lisa go to meet 9, so 9 tells her with a sharp look, you decided to become a criminal with us by your own will. And because of that you cannot go back on your decision again. So Lisa looks at him shocked and realizes that her normal life has already ended. At night, Lisa walks on the road to her house, but she is sad and worried, because of what happened to her today, and she asks herself did what she did was right, or did she have another choice? And after a while Lisa reaches the house, but her mother yells at her hard because she stayed out late, and also did not answer her phone all day, so Lisa tries to apologize to her. But her mother was very angry, and presses on Lisa's shoulder, and shakes her hard, and asks her are you also trying to run away from me, like your father did? So Lisa pushes her and enters her room, and closes the door, and sits on the ground while she is sad. And on the other side, the government holds a meeting with the investigators, to discuss the explosion that happened yesterday. So one of the people stands up, and talks about the video in which Sphinx appeared, and explains to them that they hid their identities in secret ways so no one could know their location. And after he finishes, another person stands up and talks about the bomb, and explains to them that the government building is designed to withstand regular bombs, but these terrorists used bombs that melt metals, and that means they knew the building well, and this is evidence that they are not just amateurs, and that they want to reach a goal we do not know. And this is clear from the message they left behind, which is the word Vion. So confusion appears on the faces of those sitting, and they realize that this is not an easy case. And at the same time, 9 prepares their new bomb, while 12 fixes his motorcycle, because they are preparing to carry out a new attack. So 12 asks 9, "Why did you tell Lisa that she will become a criminal like us?" So he replies, "I told her that so she would be afraid and not report us. What matters now is come on, let us carry out our plan." And after they finish, 9 takes the motorcycle and the bomb, and goes to the police headquarters, disguised as a delivery person. And 9 enters the headquarters, and goes up to the 7th floor, holding the bomb in his hand, on the basis that it is a package he is supposed to deliver. And after walking a lot, 9 reaches the room where he is supposed to plant the bomb, and places it in the location, and also installs a surveillance camera to monitor the police reaction. And after that he takes himself and leaves calmly. And on the other side in the records office, the employee Mukasa is very nervous, and is surprised when he sees his colleague Shibasaki sitting playing and not caring. And suddenly Mukasa is startled when he sees a new video from Sphinx, in which they say, "What do you think of the fireworks that happened in the government building? We made these bombs with our own hands, but this is just the beginning. We placed the second bomb in a nearby place. And to know it you must solve our riddle. What is the thing that walks on 2 legs in the morning, and 4 at noon, and on 3 legs in the evening? If you manage to solve this riddle, you will reach the bomb easily." And on the other side in the police headquarters, the investigator Hamura gets angry, because of the terrorists provoking the government, and suddenly the chief investigator Kurahashi enters them, and tells them, "I searched for the name Sphinx in books, and discovered that Sphinx is a mythical monster mentioned in the fictional story of Oedipus. And the story says that Oedipus's father dreamed that his son when he grew up would kill him, so he quickly took him and left him in the forest. But Oedipus lived, and when he grew up he killed his father just like the dream said. But of course he did not know that he killed his father. So when Oedipus learned the truth, he could not bear what he had done, and decided to punish himself, and gouged out both of his eyes from their place and became blind. And after that Oedipus went to visit his father's country that he killed, and there he met the monster Sphinx who blocked his path. And it is known about this monster that it gives people riddles, and whoever cannot solve the riddle it eats him. And one of the riddles that Sphinx said to Oedipus was, "What is the thing that walks on 4 legs in the morning, then 2 legs at noon, and in the end 3 legs in the evening?" And this riddle resembles the riddle of the video we heard, and the answer to it was the human. So when the investigators hear the story from Kurahashi, they start analyzing the numbers of this riddle. So one of them suggests that they search for these numbers in addresses, and after a long search, these numbers give them the address of a nuclear facility, so they go quickly to search the building for the bomb. And after they go there, a call comes from the employee Shibasaki to the chief Kurahashi, and he tells him, "I was thinking about the widespread Sphinx video riddle, and I realized that it refers to the famous fictional story of Oedipus. But what I discovered is that the numbers that Sphinx said are not the same as those in the original novel, because the ones in the novel are 423, but what they said in the video were 243, and when I searched more I found that there is another version of the Oedipus story that is not widespread. And in it there is a riddle that says, 'What is the thing that walks on 2 legs, then after that on 4 legs, and in the end walks on 3 legs, and the answer to it was Oedipus himself. Because at first he walked on 2 legs, and after he killed his father, he likened himself to animals and became walking on 4 legs, and in the end when he became blind, he needed a cane to be able to walk, and thus he became walking on 3 legs, and by analyzing these numbers, the address will turn out to be the police headquarters in the middle of the city, and that means the bomb is planted there.' And while they are talking, 9 monitors the police headquarters, and activates the bomb at the right time. And suddenly a very huge explosion happens in the police center, so the chief Kurahashi confirms that Shibasaki's words were correct, and tells him, 'I will tell you something secret now. 6 months ago plutonium material was stolen from the nuclear facility, and the thieves quickly disappeared in the blink of an eye, but they left a message before they left, which was the word Vion. And this is the same word that was present after the government building explosion. It is clear that we are facing a difficult case, and for that I ask you to return as an investigator again.' And after the incident some time later in the investigation office, the investigator Hamura is very angry, and asks how can an old man working in records become my superior? How after all the years I worked here, someone comes and takes my place in the blink of an eye. So the investigator Shibasaki enters with his belongings, and asks about his office. So when Hamura sees him he gets angrier, and takes himself and leaves. And on the other side, 9 and 12 are at the place where they will plant the new bomb. So 12 asks 9, do you not notice that this time's riddle is a bit hard for them? So 9 replies on the contrary, I expect that there is someone who knew the answer. But they could not go at the right time, that is why I want to make the riddle harder, and see if the same person will know the bomb location again or not. And on the other side, the government holds a meeting with the investigators, and one of the chiefs stands up, and shows them the video of the terrorist who planted the bomb in the police headquarters, and tells them the criminal entered the headquarters with full boldness, completely ignoring the surveillance cameras, and it is clear that he was hidden and calculated well, and also he was carrying a delivery box containing the bomb. And that means they are challenging the police, besides that they may be preparing a second bomb during our conversation. And after the meeting ends, the investigator Shibasaki goes to talk to the chief Kurahashi, and Kurahashi tells him one of the suspects in stealing plutonium material was an employee working in the facility for only a few months, and when we searched behind him, we found that he is a person not present in our records at all. Most likely he infiltrated the government and made a fake identity, and when we asked the people working there, we were able to draw a picture of his face, because we could not obtain a photo of him, because all his data was deleted from the facility in a mysterious way. So Shibasaki stands up and says sadly, when I was young I was living in the city of Hiroshima, and because of the nuclear bomb that fell on us, I could not live my childhood like any child, because the government was preventing us from leaving the houses. At that time I felt that my age was being stolen from me, and I could not do anything about it. That is why I decided to accept this case, and punish anyone who plays with nuclear bombs, so that the children after me can live their childhood, and I protect any child whose life could be stolen like mine. And after a while, the investigator Hamura tries to interrogate the suspect, in cutting off the electricity of the city, on the day of the government building explosion. But the suspect completely refuses to talk, and responds to him with full provocation. So Shibasaki enters to interrogate him himself, and tells him I heard that there was a mysterious man, who used to come to your house a lot, but recently he stopped coming completely. Besides that a huge amount entered your bank account, so fear and confusion appear on the suspect's face, and in the end he confesses his crime. And after that Shibasaki meets with the investigators, and informs them that he managed to make the suspect confess his crime, but he felt something strange when he knew that the suspect received an electronic message from the terrorist, telling him that if he cuts the electricity cable he will receive a large sum of money, because the terrorist knew that if he cut that electricity line, he would be able to stop power to the government building. So Shibasaki is surprised and asks, why would a terrorist of such a high level of precision leave behind an electronic message that we can trace? Is the criminal intentionally leaving evidence behind? And suddenly one of the people enters them, and informs them that Sphinx published a new video on the internet, so they go quickly to watch it, in which Sphinx say, we know that you are waiting for us, so that is why we came today with a new riddle. What is the building next to the ruler's house? Who managed to solve the riddle? If you cannot solve this riddle, another big explosion will happen. You have time until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Continue searching until you walk while limping. And after that the investigators sit together to find a solution to this riddle. So Shibasaki says by the ruler, who solved the riddle they mean Oedipus, and as for the sentence, continue searching until you walk while limping, it has a meaning because the name Oedipus originally means the swollen foot in ancient Greek language, and that is because his father when he placed him in the forest, put a large nail in his foot so he would not escape from animals. But a shepherd found Oedipus in the forest, and when he saw his foot he named him the swollen foot, which is the name Oedipus, and one of the narratives says that Oedipus lived his entire life limping. And at night, Lisa is sitting in her room, and takes out her phone and looks at the numbers that called her, specifically 9's number that called her on the day of the explosion, and she remembers her conversation with him, So Lisa stands up and prepares her bag to run away from the house. And when she finishes, she tries to call 9's number. But of course he does not answer her, so Lisa opens her apartment door quietly and leaves. But the door makes a sound and her mother hears it, so she calls her. So Lisa takes herself and runs at full speed, to escape from the house. And on the other side, 9 is standing on the roof of his house, and remembers what used to happen to them in the orphanage, and how harsh the teachers were with them, while telling them that they will cancel their names, and will call them by numbers after that, and he remembers again the night of escape, and how he could not save his friend, so 9 holds his head from the intensity of pain, so 12 comes from behind him, so 9 asks him, "You met Lisa, didn't you?" So 12 replies, "Do not worry about me, I will not get myself involved with her, because if I do that there will be big consequences." And after that 9 and 12 enter their house, and they find Shibasaki going live on the internet, and he is directing his words to them, in which he says, "I came today to answer your riddle," which is what is the building next to the ruler's house, who managed to solve the riddle, and I discovered that the one who solved the riddle of the monster Sphinx was Oedipus himself. Besides that he lived his entire life limping, as you hinted in your video, and since you used the Oedipus riddle in blowing up the police headquarters, then you surely mean the building adjacent to the police headquarters, and the answer to it will be the investigation office. So 9 hears those words and is impressed by Shibasaki, and while he is talking, the police go to remove the bomb from there. And after that a call comes to the Chief Kurahashi from the explosives department, and they reassure him that they managed to stop the bomb. So Kurahashi looks at Shibasaki and smiles at him, but Shibasaki does not end his words here, and tells them, "What do you think now? How do you feel when you knew that we solved the riddle? I do not know if you are playing with us or not, but I do not want you to go too far in this game, because what you are doing is not a game, and something bigger than your age." So Chief Kurahashi cuts the broadcast on him, so he does not provoke them more than necessary. And after that the investigator Hamura asks the Chief Kurahashi about Shibasaki, after he confirmed that he is an extraordinary person, and that he is truly an exceptional case, and tells him, "I heard that he was a great investigator before, what happened to him?" So Kurahashi sighs, and tells him 15 years ago, an important figure fell from the balcony, but those in high positions wanted to cover up the news, so they said it was just an accident or a suicide. But Shibasaki was not convinced by their words, and was sure that the man was involved in some conspiracy, and it reached the point that he investigated the Prime Minister personally, so Shibasaki was transferred to the records office, and since he has a life and a family, he was forced to accept that decision. And on the other side, the investigator Shibasaki goes to the nuclear facility, to meet one of the employees there, and asks him about the person who stole the plutonium material, and shows him a picture of the suspect, and asks him, "Have you not seen this person before? I asked about him in the city, but it seems no one remembered him." So the employee replies, "Yes, that young man did not interact with the other workers, even during the lunch break. He always put his headphones in his ears, and I also tried to ask him what his father used to work as, but he did not answer me at all and stayed silent. I felt that I said something wrong." At the same time, 9 tries to hack the police website, but the site is heavily protected, and with great difficulty, 9 finally manages to hack it, and is able to access all the sensitive information. And at night, the investigator Shibasaki informs the Chief Kurahashi about what he did today, and tells him, "When I went to ask about the suspect there, I found that no one remembers him, because he rarely interacted with others. I started to doubt that he even exists. That criminal erased all traces that lead to him." And after a while, Shibasaki goes to have dinner with his friend Mukasa, and while they are eating, a new video of Sphinx appears on the news, in which they say, "Now the time has come for a new riddle. At the place where the king received the solution to the hidden riddle, whose name will be engraved on its entrance. If you do not know the solution, there will be a massive explosion from a hidden bomb, and we hope you play with children like us without cheating. We will be waiting for you at the king's final destination, and one more thing, when you arrive, use the letters instead of the bronze." So Shibasaki watches the video shocked, leaves Mukasa and runs out. After that Shibasaki goes to the investigation office to look for a solution, and opens the video again and analyzes it, and tells them the king who solved the riddle that Sphinx mentioned was Oedipus himself, and his final destination was the underworld. And since Oedipus lost his eyes, his 2 daughters went with him to help him reach it, and they used a ladder made of bronze to descend there. And they find on the gate engraved sayings, among them the saying "Know yourself." But Sphinx said use the letters instead of the bronze. I think they mean the comments under this video, so Shibasaki scrolls down into the comments and finds a link, so he clicks on it, and that link redirects him to a strange website, which has a bomb timer, and also has a field written in it the person's name, and all they have to do is enter the required name, which the saying refers to successfully stop the bomb. And on the other side, Lisa is sitting in the street with nowhere to go, after she left the house and ran away, so some young men go to her to harass her, so Lisa stands terrified, pushes them and starts running fast, and at the same time 12 is sitting watching Lisa's movements from his phone, and he is also sitting sad and worried, because he wants to help her, but at the same time does not want to get involved with her. After that 12 goes home, and sits with 9 to talk for a while, and 9 tells him you said you would not know that girl again. What made you look for her? So he replies I know that what I am doing is wrong, but it seems she ran away from her house, and if she gets caught and confesses on us, we will be in big trouble. That is why it is better for me to monitor her from afar. At the same time in the surveillance tower, there is an employee sitting working, but he notices something strange, so he quickly calls the police, and shows them the movements of the delivery worker, who planted the bomb in the police headquarters. And when they track all his movements that day, they manage to know his home address, so the chief Kurahashi orders special forces to be sent to that address, to arrest the criminals, and praises the employee for his sharp observation. So the investigator Hamura goes to Shibasaki, and informs him that they managed to find the terrorists' house because of a major mistake they made, and suggests that he comes with them. But Shibasaki refuses to stay and solve the riddle. So Hamura looks at him in surprise, and tells him but there is no need for you to solve the riddle now, we already know their location, so he replies they said stop the bomb, besides they warned us not to cheat in the game. So Hamura slams his hand hard on the desk, and leaves Shibasaki while angry at him. And on the other side 12 goes to Lisa, and tells her go back home again, because the city is dangerous for you at a time like this, besides that you will cause us many problems. So Lisa stands up and tells him angrily leave me alone, and then tells him sadly, I have nowhere to go, I am so stupid. I thought I could escape from reality, or that someone might come take me to a far place, and Lisa cries heavily, and takes herself and runs fast. At the same time police forces go to 9 and 12's house, to arrest them, and while they are trying to storm the house, Shibasaki is sitting trying to solve the riddle, and after deep thinking about the phrase know yourself, he manages to know that the answer will be himself, so he quickly writes his name, and succeeds in solving the riddle, but still the bomb does not stop, so Shibasaki stands shocked by what is happening, and asks loudly why did the bomb not stop until now. So the game tells him, even though you answered correctly, these people are cheating, and shows him a video of the police trying to storm 9 and 12's house, and continues speaking that is why the hidden bomb will not stop, and indeed when the time ends the bomb explodes, but this time unlike all previous times, and the bomb of this riddle is a bit different, because after a while all the secret investigations will spread on the internet, about these terrorists. And we return to Lisa again, who while she is walking in the street, is stopped by 2 police officers, to know what she is doing outside the house late, and suddenly 12 comes from behind them on his motorcycle, and looks at Lisa smiling, so Lisa quickly runs toward him, gets on the motorcycle behind him, and the 2 of them escape. And while they are riding the motorcycle, Lisa's eyes shine, and she feels that hope has returned to her again. Finally the person who can save her from her reality has come, and she laughs as if it is the first time she has laughed in her entire life. After a while, 12 and Lisa reach his house, and when 12 opens the door he finds 9 standing in front of him waiting. So 12 looks at him confused, and does not know what to tell him, and suddenly he finds 9 rejecting the idea that Lisa lives with them. So Lisa hears those words and is shocked, and 9 says we cannot trust her, besides we do not have enough time for her, and she will also be an obstacle for us, and suddenly Lisa feels dizzy from the shock, falls to the ground and loses consciousness. And on the next day, Lisa wakes up from sleep. And at the same time, 9 and 12 are sitting outside the house talking to each other, and 12 explains to him why he brought Lisa to the house, and tells him she left her house, and was alone in the city, and after that she found police people stopping her, and they started asking her some questions. That is why I was afraid for us and went to save her. I believe it is better for us to keep her with us, so we can monitor her well and not be in danger. So 9 replies to him, she is not our friend, and surely the day will come when she will stand in our way. And I told you many times before, do not get too involved with her. I know that you are aware of the seriousness of the matter. And while they are talking, suddenly they hear the sound of many mobile phones ringing, so they enter the house quickly to see what is happening, and they find Lisa was playing with the bomb phones. So when she sees them, Lisa becomes very nervous, and apologizes to them for what she did. So 12 goes and turns off all the phones, and tells her these phones are not just ordinary phones. They are connected to bombs inside that fire extinguisher, and luckily they were not connected, because a very big explosion would have happened in the place. And on the other side, an American plane lands on Japanese territory, carrying special forces, who are supposed to help Japan get rid of the terrorists, who keep blowing up random places, and recover the lost plutonium material. At the same time, the government holds a meeting with the investigators, and Chief Kurohashi says the data leak that happened exposed very secret details about the investigation. That is why we cannot be lenient or careless in the matter anymore. We must end the file of these terrorists as soon as possible, because no one knows what else they are planning. And while he is talking, someone goes to Chief Kurohashi, and tells him in his ear that the special forces from America arrived in Japan, and they are currently waiting for you, so Kurohashi is forced to end the meeting. And we return to 9 and 12 again, who are disguised in train worker uniforms, so they can plant a bomb in the shape of a fire extinguisher there. And after they finish they go home, but while they are climbing the stairs, 12 notices a burning smell coming from the house. So they run quickly to see what is happening, and they find Lisa standing preparing lunch, but she burned all the food. So when they sit to eat they find the food very bad. So 9 tells her angrily, no one asked you to make lunch. If you are trying to show any usefulness from you, then you are doing the complete opposite. So Lisa looks at the ground and becomes very sad with herself. After a while, 12 goes to 9, and tells him, does Lisa's food not remind you of something? I personally remembered the orphanage food. It was very bad and inedible. In the orphanage food was just a duty and nothing more. And on the other side in the investigation office, Sphinx appears with a new video on the internet, and they say in it, as long as you saw us here, then you surely know what will happen. Now it is time for a new riddle. Where did the punishment of the man FEC 589, who planted the herbs take place? You have time until 8 in the evening. If you cannot solve the riddle, there will be a strong explosion somewhere. So when Shibasaki hears those words, he runs quickly to his friend Mukasa, who works in the records office, and tries to ask him about the numbers that appeared in the video. So investigator Homura goes after him, and asks him, what brought you here? So Shibasaki shows him a file with a sequence of numbers similar to those that appeared in the video, so Homura understands that Sphinx mean police documents. After that the three of them go to the archive, to search for the file that has the numbers that Sphinx mentioned there, and after a long search, Mukasa finally finds the file that has the correct numbers, and when they see what is inside, they find a punishment case for students in a school. So they read more details, and they find that a group of students were late for their morning lineup, so they were punished by being forced to run around the school in very high temperatures. So the students suffered from sunstroke. So Mukasa asks in surprise, and does this even relate to the riddle at all? After that the three of them sit to look for a solution to the riddle, and Shibasaki tells them since Sphinx always rely on fictional stories, there appeared in one of the famous stories, that there was a person who planted herbs in a fictional garden, so he was punished by the ruler at that time, and the punishment was that he forced him to run long distances, and by the way that man was known by the title the Red Snake. We can assume that the punishment in the novel, and the file we found of the school, are very similar in the method of punishment, which is forcing to run. And surely there is a connection between the Red Snake, and the punishment of the school students, and after deep thinking Shibasaki says they surely mean the red train that is located in the middle of the city. So Hamura stands shocked by what he heard, and quickly goes to inform the officials, so they search the entire train. And at the same time, 12 asks 9, "Why did you make the riddle easier this time?" So he replies, "If I made it harder and they could not solve it, I would be forced to kill the people on the train, and that is not our goal at all." I believe that investigator Shibasaki realized that there is certainly a connection between the bombing locations, and since we did not state our demands, then surely he will try to find out by himself what we are seeking. And we return to Shibasaki again, who is sitting with his friend Mukasa, and shows him the names of important people, who were heads of the places where the explosions happened, and tells him, "When I searched about them, I found out that they were participating in a seminar organized by an organization called the Peace Rise Academy, and this is an organization established to enhance interaction between the people and the government, and surely this is the terrorists' target, but I do not know why they are pursuing it, but I will keep searching until I know the reason." And at 7 in the evening, 12 says there are no reports about removing the bomb, and that investigator was supposed to have solved the riddle a long time ago. At this rate we will become killers within 1 hour, but 9 reassures him, because he has a phone that allows him to control the bomb remotely. But 12 is shocked when he sees the phone, because he notices that 9's phone has no signal, and that means they will not be able to stop the bomb. So he quickly takes out his phone to check it as well, and finds that there is also no signal on his phone. So he starts noticing that everything in the city has a complete signal outage. So 9 quickly goes and checks all the phones present, and also finds the network cut, and says all phones are facing electromagnetic interference. Surely someone is intentionally doing this. And at the same time, Shibasaki goes with some investigators to Chief Kurahashi, and asks him angrily, "What do you mean no one removed the bomb until now?" So Kurahashi replies, "We received orders from higher positions, that the special team coming from America will handle the mission. So all we have to do is wait for orders only." So the rest of the investigators object to this decision, so Shibasaki leaves Chief Kurahashi and walks away angrily. But Kurahashi warns him not to act alone, so what happened long ago does not happen to him. And on the other side, 12 is riding his motorcycle heading to the train, so 9 talks to 12 through a walkie-talkie, and tells him, "I will be able to know the train location through the schedule. I still do not know the exact place. So I will try to access the railway company system, and I will inform you of the location when I finish. The bomb will explode at exactly 8, and we have no other option except to remove the bomb ourselves, after interference happened to all mobile phones." But 12 informs him that this is an impossible mission, especially since he must remove it without anyone seeing him. So 9 asks himself, the police were supposed to solve this riddle, so why did none of them move until now? Besides that all phones are exposed to electromagnetic interference, surely all of this is not a coincidence, and someone is behind this. And after a while 9 succeeds in hacking the railway system, and enters the train code that carries the bomb. And indeed he manages to know its location, but suddenly he finds that there are several trains carrying the same code. So 9 looks at the screen shocked, because it is impossible that there is a train identical to another train with the same code. And this is evidence that someone is trying to present him with fake data. So 9 tries once again, but suddenly 9's device gets completely hacked. So 9 looks shocked because he does not understand what is happening, and suddenly he feels severe pain in his head, because he remembers the orphanage days and the night of escape, when he could not save his friend 5, and he also relives the same scene again, because he cannot save the people on the train, who will die because of his bomb. So 9 asks himself, is it possible that 5 is the one doing all of this? Because he remembers when she used to compete with him in chess all the time, and also used to present him with fake data in other games, besides that she is the only one who could think with the same mindset as them. So 9 throws the laptop he has, and takes out a new one, and starts trying again and again to know where the real train location is. And after a while, 9 manages to know exactly where the train is. So he stands up not believing himself finally, and runs quickly to catch it, and goes down from the house and heads to the station, and minutes before 8, he manages to catch the train on the platform, so 9 catches his breath after all that running, and takes out a gas bomb and throws it on the train. So people shout and scream loudly, and start escaping from the train. So when 9 enters it to remove the bomb, he is surprised by a girl wearing headphones and not feeling what is happening. So he runs toward her quickly to save her. But the clock has already reached 8, and the bomb explodes at its scheduled time. So 9 loses consciousness after the explosion that happened, and after a while, 9 wakes up again, and calls 12 to reassure him about himself, and while they are talking, they receive a message on their phones. Written in it, "I finally found you." So 12 asks him, "Are you thinking of the same thing I am thinking of?" So 9 replies, "Yes, there is no one else. She is the only one who knows how we think, and can track our movements easily. It is surely 5. And on the next day, one of the chiefs stands in the government meeting with the investigators, and tells them although there were no deaths, there were many injuries. We are now trying to unload the surveillance cameras, to reach the criminal who did this, and we are also searching for the reason behind the communication network's outage in the city yesterday. So Chief Kurahashi stands up to end the meeting, but he informs them of a decision taken by the higher positions first, and tells them from now on we will receive support from the FBI after that, and it is our duty to execute any request they give. So the investigators hear this in astonishment, and they cannot believe this decision. And on the other side, 9 dreams of the night of escape, and hears 5's evil laughter, after he failed to save her. So 9 wakes up frightened, so 12 reassures him, and advises him that he must take more rest, but 9 refuses and tells him 5 will not wait long. "I know she blames us because we could not save her. She will be a very difficult opponent for us. This matter will not end easily." So Lisa enters them, and offers her help, but 9 refuses her help, because he does not want to involve her in their matter. Besides that, he knows she will be an obstacle for them, and tells her you will not be able to blow up places or kill humans, and takes her and shows her pictures of injured people. So Lisa feels terrified by what she sees, and looks at the pictures while being very sad. At the same time, Shibasaki is walking with Kurahashi, and tells him, "You know that the FBI will control us. You are just trying to beautify our image by presenting support to them. But you know that this will not happen, and by the way, in yesterday's meeting, someone came and summoned you. Who was it?" So he replies, "The Prime Minister's office." And we return to the past, and at that time Kurahashi enters the Prime Minister's office, and finds the people in high positions sitting worried and completely helpless, and when he sits with them, one of the chiefs introduces him to Agent Clarence and his partner 5 from the FBI, and tells him that they will help us in the Sphinx case. So Kurahashi asks in surprise, why would the FBI interfere in the internal affairs of the country? So Clarence stands up, because it is clear he does not like the talk, and tells Kurahashi 6 months ago, a nuclear material was stolen from the facility. That is why the United States government is interested in the matter, because stealing such material is very dangerous to the entire world, and we are certain that the ones responsible for the explosion incidents happening in the country here are the ones who stole that nuclear material. Besides that, we have evidence against them. So Kurahashi stands and asks him for any information he knows about them so they can arrest them. So 5 hears that and laughs sarcastically, and tells them all this time you could not find a single piece of evidence against them, and you even let them leak secret information about the case, and now you come tell me that you will be able to arrest them, and after that she takes herself and leaves. And we return to the present again, and Lisa is standing on the roof of the house thinking. So 12 comes behind her, so she asks him sadly, am I a burden on you? I should not have gotten close to you. I feel that you are bothered by my presence. So 12 tries to comfort her, and tells her do not be upset with 9. He does not mean to hurt you. He does not hate you as you think. He just does not want you to get involved with us, and turn from an innocent girl into a criminal girl. So Lisa hears his words and smiles. After that, a message comes to the investigation office on their phone, and this message was sent from Sphinx. Written in it, Julius Caesar went to the Arab lands, but the surprise is that 9 and 12 also received this message, and that means someone is using their name for a certain purpose. So the two of them realize that 5 has started hunting them. So 9 says this sentence refers to the Caesar cipher, and that means we must convert the letters into Arabic numbers, So 9 and 12 sit together to look for a solution to 5's riddle. And when they convert the letters into numbers, it leads them to the airport coordinates. So 9 looks surprised, because that airport was one of their future targets, and suddenly they receive a message on the phone, written in it the word Vawan. So 9 says this message means that 5 knows everything about us. After that 9 and 12 prepare to go to the airport, so 12 asks is there a possibility that this bomb is fake. So 9 replies knowing 5 she will do anything to defeat us. We are now in a big dilemma, because if we go to remove the bomb we might get arrested, and if we leave it many people will die. So 12 asks him, but that airport is very large, how will we know the bomb location? So he replies surely when we get there. We will find 5 leaving us another riddle to solve. There are around 1,500 surveillance cameras there. Surely she will monitor them all to expose us. So 12 suggests that they take someone with them who is unknown, to distract attention from them a little. So 9 looks at Lisa and completely rejects the idea. And at the same time in the investigation office, Shibasaki stands in front of the investigators to solve the Caesar cipher, and he has drawn on the board some numbers and letters, and after long analysis and more thinking, they manage to reach the correct numbers, and when they search them they find that they point to the airport. And Shibasaki also manages to discover the bomb explosion time, which is 8 in the evening. After that the investigation office prepares to go to the airport, but Shibasaki is sitting thinking about the messages that came to him, and tells Hamura I feel that the one who sent this message is not the criminals. But Hamura tells him there is no time for this talk, we only have 4 hours before the bomb explodes, and while they are talking one of the chiefs enters them, and tells them we have orders from higher positions, that the bomb squad will handle the bomb extraction matter, and you will stay here until we need you. So the investigators hear this while shocked, and unable to comprehend what is being said, so they all object to him and express their anger. But that chief tells them I will not repeat the words again, and I do not need to tell you that none of you should act on his own. So Shibasaki stands up to leave, so Hamura asks him where are you going now? So he replies I am going to get something to eat, because I believe we will stay here for a while. But Shibasaki is actually going to his car to head toward the airport, because he wants to go stop the bomb before it explodes, so Hamura calls out to him, and tells him I know that you were not going to get food like you told us, I will come with you so we can save the people. And while they are talking, some other investigators join them as well, and inform them that they will not leave them alone, and will go with them to stop the bomb together. And on the other side, 12 tries to convince 9 to take Lisa with them, because if they use an unknown person, they will remove the bomb without anyone recognizing them. But 9 insists on his refusal, so Lisa calls out to him, and tells him I want to join you in a mission like this. Even if I do not know how to deal with bombs, I will do my best to help you. So 9 looks at her and finally agrees, but tells her you will go by train so we do not get exposed. So 12 smiles at her face. After a while, 9 and 12 arrive at the airport, and they are disguised in worker uniforms, and as soon as they enter they register their entry. But on the other side, 5 is sitting in the monitoring room watching them, and opens the employee log and searches for the latest worker entry, and manages to discover that there is an employee who registered his entry with no identity at all. After that 9 and 12 enter the bathroom to change their clothes, and come out of it as 9 and 12 normally, and while they are walking, the surveillance cameras capture them, so 5's eyes shine as soon as she sees them. So 9 looks at the screen present in the airport, and finds a map of the place, and when he examines it closely, he finds it resembles a chessboard, so he tells 12 she wants to use the airport like a chess game, that we used to play with her before, and a D4 symbol appears on the screen. So 12 tells him we must win the game to know the bomb location, so 9 thinks about how they will do that, and then informs 12 of the place they will go to, and the two of them run quickly. And on the other side, Shibasaki arrives at the airport with the investigators, so one of the investigators asks we must search every section for the bomb quickly. But how will we search all of this, while we are only by ourselves? So Shibasaki replies I think that Sphinx will present their riddle soon, so one of the investigators with him points to the airport screen, which has the symbol D4 on it. After that Shibasaki goes to the employee responsible for the screens, and asks him what are these strange images that you are displaying. So he replies to them, I received orders from the police to display these things. But honestly I do not know the reason. And by the way, how are you police and do not know about this decision? So the investigators look at each other, and become very confused, because they do not know what to reply with. After that the investigators sit together to think about what they will do. So Shibasaki tells them these images are for another person other than us. The person who planted the bomb is sending messages to the person who is trying to stop it. So the investigators hear this, and are surprised, and ask him, do you mean that the police are the ones who made this bomb? Does that mean that the real Sphinx are the ones trying to solve the riddle? At the same time, 12 separates from 9, and walks among the people so no camera can capture him. So the employees in the control tower inform 5 that they lost 12's trace, as if he knows all the surveillance cameras, and hides in places where the cameras cannot capture him. So 5 orders them to inform the airport police to search for him immediately. After a while 12 reaches the door of one of the restrooms, and when he looks up he finds a police officer running toward him to catch him. But 12 manages to take him down, and takes off his clothes and disguises himself in them, so no one recognizes him. And after that he calls Lisa, to tell her about their plan, but Lisa is very nervous and holding her heart, so she tries to gather her courage, and finally agrees. After that 12 goes to the airport control room, so he can take control of the surveillance cameras in the place, and also know exactly where the bomb is. At the same time, Lisa goes to the restroom, and she is holding fireworks in her hands, and Lisa is sitting very nervous about what she is doing, and her whole body is shaking and she is sweating heavily, but she stands up and lights those fireworks, so a lot of smoke comes out in the restroom. So the alarm sirens go off in the airport, so when 5 hears the alarm sounds, she is surprised and asks what is this that happened, so the employees reply there is a lot of smoke coming out of the restrooms. So 5 orders them to send the police there, and while she is standing watching the cameras, she sees Lisa nervous and bumping into people, and running at full speed, so 5 concludes that she is with 9 and 12, so she talks to Agent Clarence through the earpiece in her ear, and orders him to go arrest Lisa himself. After that 5 sits down to monitor 9, and while she is monitoring him through the cameras, she feels that something is wrong, so she starts switching between the cameras to see 9, but she notices something very dangerous, which is that the airport clock is 5 full minutes behind the real time, so 5 looks at the screen shocked, because that means someone is controlling the surveillance cameras remotely, so she pulls out her gun and runs quickly. But as soon as she exits the control room, she finds 9 standing behind her aiming the gun at her, so 5 freezes in her place shocked. But she asks him sarcastically, is this the way you are supposed to welcome me? I should have noticed that I was seeing fake footage all this time. At the moment when the smoke happened, someone rolled the surveillance camera back from the real time, so 9 asks her why are you blocking our path, so 5 laughs sarcastically, and tells him I came to finish our game together. By the way, the girl that you made caused chaos in the place. I sent her a special invitation to attend the bomb explosion up close. So 9 hears that while confused, and suddenly police officers come and fire at 9, but they could not hit him, so 9 runs and escapes quickly, and goes to 12 to save Lisa. And while 9 is running he comes face to face with Shibasaki coming from afar, and when he passes by him, Shibasaki stops in his place and suspects that this person is Sphinx. But Hamura was calling him, so they can quickly search for the bomb before it explodes, so Shibasaki is forced to run with them and leave 9. After that 9 goes to 12, and finds 12 telling him that he cannot find the bomb, even though he is sure they are in the right place, and suddenly 12's phone rings, and he finds that Lisa is the one calling him, and when he answers he finds her crying heavily, and telling him in terror help me quickly, I am inside a plane. And this plane is moving and has the bomb on it. Someone threatened me a while ago and put me there. What should I do now? So 12 tries to calm her down, and asks her who is flying the plane. But she surprises him when she tells him that the plane is actually moving by itself. So when 9 hears that, he realizes that 5 betrayed them, and that the bomb is not in the place she said, and tells 12 the plane will reach gate number 106. The place where we are standing now. And the problem is at this rate many people will die. that plane is moving remotely, and that means 5 is in the automatic control tower. So 12 asks him, what will we do now? That tower is surrounded by a large number of police officers. We will not even be able to get close there. So 9 bites his lip in anger, and tells him if we cause chaos here, we will be able to move the civilians in the airport. So 12 looks at him shocked, and tells him angrily, what about Lisa? She is next to the bomb. So 9 looks at him and thinks for a while, and a plan comes to his mind. After that 9 calls investigator Shibasaki, and tells him, I am Sphinx, and there is no time to explain anything to you. This bomb is not the one we made. I am sure you know who did this, but now there is a plane carrying this bomb, and heading toward gate number 106 right now. So Shibasaki hears that, and is shocked, and 9 continues speaking. The only way to stop it is to control it remotely, from the control tower, but with the police officers filling the place, we will not even be able to get close there. So you are the one who will go there and stop it. We both will be in trouble if the bomb explodes. Besides that, it is the duty of the police to protect civilians. So Shibasaki becomes tense, and does not know what to do, but he agrees to 9's words unwillingly, so he can save the civilians. After that, 9 and 12 get into their car, so 12 calls Lisa, and orders her to execute exactly what he tells her, which is that she will make a rope so she can jump from the plane, and at the same time, the investigators go to the control tower, but they face police officers there, who strongly prevent them from passing, and while they are clashing with each other, Shibasaki manages to slip away from them, and runs quickly to the control room. And on the other side, Lisa comes out from the plane window, and finds 12 standing on their car waiting for her, and signaling her to jump to him, but Lisa faces her biggest fear, which is that she is afraid of jumping from high places, and suddenly the plane hits some boxes on the ground, so Lisa falls from the window, but luckily she is holding the rope tightly with all her strength, so 12 signals her again to jump, but she is very afraid, but she remembers their memories together, when she jumped from the government building and trusted 12, and indeed 12 did not disappoint her and managed to save her, so Lisa suddenly throws herself toward him, so 12 manages to catch her, and proves worthy of her trust for the second time, and does not disappoint her. At the same time, Shibasaki reaches the control room, pulls out his gun and points it toward the employee controlling the plane, and tells them, I want you to do everything I tell you, so 5 looks at him with flames of anger in her eyes, so the employee follows his orders because he is afraid of him, and diverts the plane from its path, and directs it toward an empty land, so 5 tells him, I will make you regret this act. After a while, the bomb explodes on the plane, and Shibasaki and 9 manage to save the people in the airport, so Shibasaki looks from the window, and finds 9 wearing the Sphinx mask and saluting him, so Shibasaki tries to go down to arrest him, but he finds the employees in a state of panic blocking the exit, so Shibasaki goes back to the window and looks at him, with his eyes filled with intense anger. After a while, 5 is sitting alone, holding Lisa's card in her hand, and looking at it with pure malice, and says, I will not let you escape next time. And on the next day, Shibasaki stands with the investigators who were with him at the airport, in front of their chief, and he severely reprimands them because they did not listen to his orders, and tells them, I told you before that none of you should move from the investigation office, and yet you did not listen to my words, and went to the airport, and not only that, you also obstructed the investigations happening there. You are suspended from work for 3 months, and I will also cancel your participation in this case, and next time I will dismiss you from service entirely, and as for Shibasaki, he will be suspended from work for an unspecified period. So Shibasaki says, I am responsible for what happened, and I will bear the full responsibility, but I saw Sphinx with my own eyes, and they are not the ones who made the bomb. There is someone trying to attribute this act to them, and then Shibasaki leaves, so the chief calls out to him, and orders him to leave his badge, because he is officially dismissed from work, so Shibasaki throws the badge on the table angrily and leaves. After that, Shibasaki goes to his daughter at her dormitory, and tells her, since you are in engineering, and know about nuclear energy sciences, is it possible for an ordinary person to turn plutonium material into a bomb? So his daughter looks at him in surprise, and tells him it requires very precise machines, and also converting it is difficult for beginners. Besides that, they must find a solution for the radiation that will come out of this material. And on the other side, Lisa wakes up from sleep, and after a while, she starts preparing lunch, but suddenly she hears the doorbell ringing, so Lisa looks surprised, because no one comes to visit them at all. So Lisa goes and opens the door, and finds a delivery worker bringing her an order specifically in her name. So Lisa looks at him shocked, but she takes the package from him, and finds on it a card with a message written on it, which is the word bomb. So when Lisa reads this word, she becomes extremely terrified. At the same time, 9 and 12 are heading home. So 12 asks, "Are we going to leave this hideout?" So 9 replies yes. They saw Lisa's face. It is only a matter of time until they find this place, and while they are talking, they see Lisa running toward them, so they stop in their place surprised, and suddenly a huge explosion happens in their house. So Lisa looks at the explosion in a state of shock. And on the other side, Agent Clarence goes to 5, and asks her, "What is this that you did? You are escalating it too much with them. The American government told us that securing the nuclear material is important. Because of what you are doing, this will lead to them using the bomb. Anyway, think before you take the next step. I will not be able to justify what you are doing to the Japanese police again." And after Clarence leaves, 5 holds her head in anger, and says, "I must find a solution to finish 9 quickly." And at night, 9 and 12 go to their new hideout. So 9 says, "I did not expect to use a place like this," and directs his words to Lisa, and tells her, "You are the one who brought us to this situation." So Lisa looks at the ground very sadly, and apologizes to 9. And at that moment Lisa feels that she is useless to them, and must take herself and leave, so 12 looks at her and feels sorry for her. And on the next day, Shibasaki goes to the records archive, to search for the goal that 9 and 12 are pursuing, and while he is searching, he remembers his words about the heads of the places where explosions occurred, and that they were participating in a seminar organized by an organization called the Peace Rise Academy, and he reads in books that they carried out a plan called Athena, but there is not enough information in the books about this plan. So he goes to Mukasa, and searches for any book there that could lead him to the truth, and asks Mukasa, "Was there not an incident about the son of someone from the high positions in the Ministry of Health, in which he injured a person and killed him?" So Mukasa replies yes, but the matter ended in court already. After that, Shibasaki goes to visit the person whose son was accused in the case, and tells him 10 years ago there was a project called Athena, and this project aimed to raise gifted children. I searched for it, but I cannot find any details about it in books. So since you were one of the members who participated in this project, I want to know details about it from you. So he tells him, "I do not know what you are talking about, and even if I knew anything, I would certainly not tell you something secret like this. You are surely an investigator and you know this well," and that man stands up to leave, but Shibasaki talks to him about his son, and shows him a picture of him with one of the gangs while he is buying drugs. So the man stops, shocked by what he sees, and gets very angry at Shibasaki. So Shibasaki tells him, "I lost my job, so I do not care about anything." So that man looks at him angrily, and is forced to reveal some secrets to him. After that, Shibasaki leaves the place, and finds investigator Hamura in front of him, who offers him help in his research. So Shibasaki tells him, "You are threatened with suspension from work. Did you forget? Besides that you do not have another job, it is better for you to stay away from me." But Hamura reassures him, and tells him, "Do not worry about me." And while they are walking, Shibasaki explains to him about the orphanage, and raising gifted children. And after that, Shibasaki goes to interrogate some workers and employees who used to work in the facility, and goes from one employee to another, and all of them say only one thing: "None of us knows exactly where the children are, or what happened to them." And at night, Shibasaki calls an old investigator friend of his, to search with him for some details in the Athena plan, and also the address of one of the officials involved in this plan. But that investigator is afraid, because if he did that and someone exposed him, he could be fired from work, or in the worst case he could disappear from existence. But after severe insistence from Shibasaki, that investigator agrees to help him. After a while, the investigator calls Shibasaki again, and tells him, "I found the address of the official you want, and I also found some dangerous information related to the Athena plan, which is that there are pharmaceutical companies and neuroscience research institutes involved in the records of this plan." And on the other side, in 9 and 12's hideout, 9 feels that 12 is upset about something, so he asks him what is wrong, so 12 replies we must stop what we are doing, because if we continue it something might happen that we cannot handle, so 9 asks him did you feel fear, and all of this because of Lisa. I want you to remember the place we came from. We have not yet reached the goal that we are doing all this for. Are you coming now to surrender? I know that just one wrong step, and Lisa would have died because of us. That is why we cannot involve her with us any more than this. So Lisa hears their words together, and she is standing very sad, and feels that she is a big burden on them. That is why Lisa decides to run away. After that, Lisa prepares her bag and goes out to the street alone, and takes herself and runs fast while crying hard because of her feeling that she is heavy on them and that no one wants her with them. And while she is running, 5 is sitting watching her, and she smiles when she sees her walking alone and crying, and Lisa goes and sits on one of the benches in the street, and suddenly, some people come from behind her and kidnap her. After that Lisa wakes up from sleep, and finds herself sitting on a chair and tied up, and 5 comes from behind her, and tells her I searched for information about you. You left your mother, because you believed that those 2 boys would help you, and get you out of your miserable life, and so that you would not be an obstacle in their way, you decided to run away alone. So Lisa hears these words, and is very afraid. Besides that she is sad about her condition from these words, and 5 continues speaking, do not worry, I want to help 9 and 12. They still have a chance to atone for their crimes. That is why I want to know from you everything about them, and why you were with them. So Lisa tells her I happened to meet them in the government office, and they gave me a choice between dying, or being a criminal with them. So 5 whispers in her ear, you should have chosen death at that time. So Lisa hears these words and is shocked, and 5 tells her you are just a silly girl, you were surely just a source of annoyance to them. So Lisa looks at the ground with her eyes full of tears. At the same time, 12 reads Lisa's message that she left for him, in which she apologizes to him, and informs him that she ran away and left them, and after a while, 12 prepares his bag to search for Lisa in the streets, so 9 stops him, and tells him leave her, she might have run away from the police. So 12 gets angry at him and tells him, she ran away because of your words about her all the time. And suddenly a message comes to 12's phone, and finds a picture of Lisa tied up in one of the amusement park rides, so 12 runs quickly to catch her, so 9 calls out to him to stop him and warns him that this could be a trap, and asks him to stay with him, but 12 chooses Lisa, and apologizes to 9 and runs quickly, so 9 looks at him with tears in his eyes. And on the other side, Shibasaki goes with Hamura to the house of the official involved in the Athena plan, so that official comes down to open the door for them, and then takes them inside the house to talk. So Shibasaki tells him I want to know everything about the Athena plan. So the official replies, do you know the person from the high positions who committed suicide 3 years ago? He was planning to reveal everything that was happening there. So be careful, if you want to stay safe, leave here without knowing any information. So both of them get angry, and Hamura looks at Shibasaki waiting for his response. But he is surprised when Shibasaki tells him leave. But Hamura refuses to leave, and takes out a voice recorder to record everything the official says. So the official says you know the people who have mental abilities higher than ordinary humans. Despite these abilities, their number is limited, and they also cannot communicate with society well, and that was the goal of the Athena plan. It was to artificially increase the mental abilities of humans, so they can raise Japan again and become a great nation. And to do that, we gathered 26 children and placed them in an orphanage, and started our experiment, and we were giving them a new drug that was developed by coincidence. And we brought a huge amount of money and spent it on research, besides the talented researchers who were working on those children. And what we discovered is that this drug is effective only under the age of 5 years. Besides that this drug had many side effects, and most of the children's brains were damaged and they died. And in the end the Athena plan failed miserably, and the American government intervened after learning about the plan and stopped it, and at the end of the experiment only one girl survived, and an American agency took responsibility for her, but nevertheless there were 2 children who escaped from the facility, and they were child number 9 and child number 12, and those 2 set a fire and shut down the security systems at that time, and managed to escape from there. I do not know if they are still alive or not, but I hope they are alive. So Hamura slams his hand hard on the table, and gets angry at him, and tells him how could you use children in these cruel experiments. So the official replies you are right, but I could not disobey the orders of the person responsible for all of this. And by the way, that person is the one who demoted Shibasaki, so the two of them hear this and are shocked. And on the other side, 12 is riding his motorcycle and reaches the place where Lisa is kidnapped, and meanwhile, 5 is sitting watching him. So 12 finds Lisa on one of the amusement park rides, and when he goes to her he sees her sitting tied to bombs. So 12 looks at her and at the bombs shocked, and tries to reassure Lisa after she panics, and suddenly the ride starts operating and begins spinning, and the bomb timer also starts, so 12 hits his hand on the glass and gets extremely angry. So Lisa asks him what are we supposed to do now, but 12 does not answer her, and when he looks at her back, he finds a large number of bombs. So 12 looks shocked and confused, and does not know what to do with all this, but he reassures Lisa so she calms down, and takes out his tools from the bag, and starts trying to remove the bombs one after another, and removes the first bomb from Lisa and manages to stop it. At the same time, Clarence asks 5, what are you thinking about? Even a professional will not be able to remove all these bombs in that time. If he dies or something happens to him, it will be difficult for us to secure the nuclear material. I hope you do not forget our goal that we came for. So 5 gets angry at him and orders him to be silent. And on the other side 12 struggles to defuse the bombs, but unfortunately there are many bombs and very little time. So Lisa looks at the remaining time shocked, and apologizes to 12, and tells him with tears in her eyes, I acted alone and in the end got caught. I was always causing you many problems. So 12 holds her face to reassure her, and tells her there is no need to apologize now. This is not your fault. I am the one who should apologize to you. 9 was right. If I had not asked him to let you come with us to the airport, all this would not have happened. I should not have talked to you from the beginning at all, because I knew this would end like this. But I loved you. So Lisa hears these words from him and breaks down crying. And Lisa thanks him for what he did for her. So 12 looks at her surprised. So she tells him I am fine now, run and leave me here. 9 is waiting for you so you can achieve your goal. I know that 9 needs you very much. So 12 looks at her shocked, but he does not reply to her, and tries with all his strength to remove all the bombs in time. But suddenly he receives a call from 5, and she tells him what do you think about making a deal? Where is the nuclear bomb? I know that you did not steal plutonium material, but you stole a model of an atomic bomb that Japan is secretly developing. If you tell me its location I will disable this bomb. So 12 hears these words shocked. And 5 continues speaking. And this means that you will betray 9. But you already betrayed him before when you chose that girl over him. Will you let the girl because of whom you betrayed your friend die in front of you? 9 will never forgive you for what you will do. But you have no other choice. So 12 stands confused, and does not know what to do, and unfortunately he does not have enough time to think properly. 2 seconds before the bomb explodes, 12 tells her that the nuclear bomb is located in the school, so 5 disables the bombs as she agreed with him. So 12 falls to his knees sadly after what he did, because he betrayed his lifelong friend for a girl he loves, and meanwhile government forces move toward the school, to take the nuclear material. But at the same time, 9 already knows that 12 will reveal the bomb location, so he goes to the school to take the bomb first before the government arrives. But unfortunately they arrive before he escapes, yet he does not surrender and tries to escape, and takes the bag containing the bomb, and jumps over the fence. So some police officers see him and fire at him, but they cannot hit him, and 9 manages to run away from them. And when 5 learns that 9 escaped with the bomb, she holds her head and stands up in anger, but suddenly she loses consciousness and faints. And on the next day, 9 goes to the female employee working at the police headquarters, and tells her I want to turn myself in. So the employee looks at him in surprise, but after 9 puts on the Sphinx mask, the employee gets scared and screams loudly. So police officers and investigators rush toward him, point their guns at him, and order him to put his hands behind his back. But they are very surprised by this action. After that Kurahashi goes to the interrogation room with 9, and the investigator there informs him that 9 is completely refusing to speak, and is asking that Shibasaki be the one to interrogate him. so Kurahashi enters and tells him, Shibasaki is suspended from work now. So I will be the one to interrogate you. Why did you turn yourself in, and why are you committing all these crimes, and I also want to know who you are. So 9 stays silent for a while, and tells him I set the timer for the atomic bomb, and if you want to stop it carry out my demands. So Kurahashi looks at him and is shocked by what he said. After that Kurahashi goes to the people in the higher positions, and presents 9's request to them, which is that they hold a press conference broadcast live, with all kinds of news agencies present, and Kurahashi warns them that if they do not do that, 9 will use the atomic bomb, but at first the higher positions refuse these demands, because they do not trust 9, but after several attempts by Kurahashi to convince them, they are finally forced to agree to these demands. And on the other side, Shibasaki goes to the house of the person who was primarily responsible for the orphanage, and the main reason for pushing Shibasaki away from the investigation for years, and the servant working there takes Shibasaki and leads him to that responsible person, so Shibasaki stands in front of him with many questions in his mind. So that person tells him our country remained defeated for years, even after the war ended, and until now this country has no clear future. That is why I carried out the Athena plan, to create humans who surpass ordinary people. That was my only goal, but unfortunately that plan failed. So Shibasaki tells him you stole the lives of children for a naive goal like this. Sphinx destroyed the country because of you. They also stole an atomic bomb, and are threatening the world with it now. And suddenly a house servant enters them, goes to the responsible man and whispers in his ear. So the responsible man smiles and tells Shibasaki, Sphinx turned himself into the government, so Shibasaki hears this and cannot comprehend it. After that Shibasaki goes to Chief Kurahashi, and asks him to let him see Sphinx even for one time, but Kurahashi refuses his request, because not just anyone is allowed to see him, besides that Shibasaki is already fired from work, so Shibasaki takes himself and leaves, but Kurahashi calls out to him and asks him, do you know what he wants to talk about in the press conference? So he replies no, but be careful 5 and Clarence will interfere to kidnap 9 from you. And on the other side, 12 is sitting alone feeling sad, so Lisa goes to him running, and informs him that 9 turned himself in to the government. So 12 hears this and is shocked, and Lisa asks him worried, what are we supposed to do now, or how should we act? But very strangely, 12 tells her what do you think we go to the amusement park. After that, the two of them arrive at the amusement park, but Lisa is very surprised by 12's reaction, so 12 goes to her and pulls her to play some rides, and after a while when they finish, they go and sit on one of the benches, so Lisa asks him the press conference will be broadcast today. What is 9 planning to say? And will we be able to see him again? So 12 tells her sadly, I no longer care. So Lisa looks at him shocked, and 12 continues his talk, I have no right to face him. What will he say about me? Or how will he look at me after I betrayed him? So Lisa yells at him and cries, and tells him 9 needs you. You must help him. At the same time, 5 is lying on hospital bed unconscious, but after a while, 5 opens her eyes. So Clarence goes to her, and informs her that 9 turned himself into the police, so 5 gets up from the bed in a very bad condition. But she is furious at 9's decision, and tells Clarence I will not allow anyone to take 9 away from me. After that Clarence calls the Japanese official, to take 9 themselves and go with him to the conference, but the official tells him that it will not work, because these are 9's demands, that only the Japanese government be with him. But Clarence threatens him that if he does not carry out his request, the American government will intervene. So confusion appears on the official's face, and then Clarence hangs up the call in his face. And Clarence tells 5 since the airport incident, we are in full confrontation with the Japanese government. If we continue like this a big problem will happen. But 5 cuts him off, and tells him we will attack them during the transfer of 9 to the conference and kidnap him, and say that an unknown group is the one who did this. And at night, the phase of transferring 9 from prison to the press conference begins, amid heavy security and helicopters in the air, and during that, 5 is sitting watching them, to carry out her attack, and indeed she sends a truck loaded with armed people toward the vehicle transporting 9. And the truck that 5 sent manages to destroy a large number of police cars, and also stops the movement of the vehicle carrying 9, after they placed spikes on the ground, and after that the armed people get out of the truck and go to storm the vehicle. But when they open the door they find no one inside, so 5 realizes it was a decoy, but quickly she manages to identify the correct vehicle carrying 9, and takes Clarence to go kidnap him. And on the other side, the vehicle carrying 9 appears with no guard at all, because they are trying not to draw attention to them. Besides that, Chief Kurahashi is in this vehicle to secure 9 himself, but 5 is riding her car with Clarence and heading toward them quickly, and suddenly 9 senses her, and as soon as 5 approaches the vehicle, she pulls out her gun and fires at the entire vehicle, and also shoots a bullet at the driver and kills him. So Chief Kurahashi tries to control the vehicle after the driver's death. Suddenly, 12 appears riding his motorcycle, and goes toward 5 and distracts her from chasing 9. But during that, Kurahashi is unable to control the vehicle, and they crash into a curb, so 9 quickly gets up and escapes, and at the same time, 5 drives her car toward 12 to catch him, and pulls out her gun and fires at him. But she is surprised when 12 throws a grenade at her, but unfortunately he fails to control the motorcycle after throwing the grenade, and falls off it. After that, Clarence and 5 get out of the car, and suddenly Clarence raises his gun at 5, and tells her, "You are officially fired from work, you constantly violate the rules, besides that your health condition is deteriorating. All of this is enough reasons to fire you." But suddenly 5 pulls out her gun, without Clarence noticing, and shoots him, so Clarence falls to the ground shocked as he dies, and 5 says, "No one will be able to take 9 except me." After that, 5 takes her car, and heads toward 9, so as soon as he sees her he pulls out the gun he took from the police while escaping, and shoots at her quickly, and manages to hit the windshield, which blocks 5's vision and causes her to crash, and because of the crash, all the car's gasoline spills onto the ground, so 5 gets out of the car holding her gun, and goes toward 9 who is lying on the ground, and she tells him while raising her gun at him, "All my life I wanted to defeat you, but now I do not have much time left to live. I stayed alive because of you. You are the person who made me live, but unfortunately we will part now, so stay alive on my behalf." And 5 walks toward the car, looks at 9 with a farewell smile, and fires a shot at the gasoline on the ground, so the car explodes and 5 dies with it. So 9 looks at her unable to believe it, and unable to comprehend anything that is happening. And on the other side, Shibasaki cannot sit still, because 9 was late and did not reach the conference, and suddenly Sphinx releases a video on the internet, in which he says, "Because of your interference, the press conference today has been cancelled. I set this video to be shown to you automatically in case the conference was cancelled. Besides that, I activated the final bomb, which is the atomic bomb, and it will explode automatically at 10 o'clock, and unfortunately no one will be able to stop it." And 9 removes the Sphinx mask, and appears to the public for the first time without it, and says, "And now, people of Japan, goodbye." After that, the city begins to turn upside down, and all the people there panic, and they are forced to leave the city they were raised and lived in, and they leave it because of Sphinx's warning about the explosion of an atomic bomb. At the same time, Lisa is standing in the street, not knowing where to go or what to do, and she is completely alone after losing contact with 9 and 12, and while she is walking, she meets 12 walking on the road exhausted and very tired, and on his body there are bruises from falling off his motorcycle, so Lisa is surprised and calls out to him, so 12 looks at her and smiles at her, but suddenly he collapses and faints, so Lisa runs to him terrified, and tries to call an ambulance, but because of what is happening in the city, no one answers her, so Lisa cries because she does not know what to do, and wishes that 12 would wake up again. On the other side, Hamura tells Shibasaki, "Sphinx are taking revenge on us because of what we did. In 2 hours we will all die." So Shibasaki tells him they do not want to kill us. Think about it. Until now they have not killed anyone. During the government building explosion, they activated the alarm systems, so people could escape before the building collapsed, and at the police station, they placed a surveillance camera and detonated the bomb when no one was near it. Even at the airport, they are the ones who stopped the bomb that was made by the American government. They are not just ordinary terrorists. They have a goal and they are surely trying to show it to us. After that, Shibasaki receives a call from his daughter to check on him, so he tells her, "I want to ask you a few questions quickly. Is there a way to use an atomic bomb without anyone dying?" So she replies, I heard about something called high-altitude nuclear detonation. This detonation does not happen on the ground, but happens in the upper layers of the atmosphere. In the past, America conducted such a test, and at that time there was a complete power outage, so Shibasaki goes with Homura quickly to inform the authorities about the possibility that the bomb is in the sky. After that, Shibasaki and Homura go to the investigation office to know where the bomb is and try to stop it, but they are not able to reach anything. But suddenly one of the investigators calls them and shows them a video of a balloon flying in the sky at the time when Sphinx announced the bomb, and when they zoom in more they see the atomic bomb hanging from the balloon. So Shibasaki rushes and goes to Chief Kurohashi, who is sitting with one of the nuclear energy scientists, and they tell him the detonation that happens in the upper layers, we will not be affected by its radiation, but in return there will be a strong fluctuation in electromagnetic waves, and this is what will lead to the destruction of all kinds of technology in Japan, meaning the country will almost end. So Shibasaki quickly asks him, what will happen to the planes flying in the air right now? So he replies, all planes that do not have electromagnetic wave protection will be destroyed. And unfortunately we do not have a single plane with this feature. Only the American forces in Japan have this protection. When Kurohashi hears this, he orders the planes in Japanese airspace to make an emergency landing immediately. But he is shocked when the employee informs him that there are 250 planes in the air, and they will need at least an hour and a half to land on the ground. And that will be too late, because the bomb will explode in only 1 hour. But Kurohashi shouts at him and tells him, figure it out. This operation must be completed within half an hour. At the same time, American planes with electromagnetic protection fly in the sky, trying to stop the atomic bomb, and during that, Shibasaki and Chief Kurohashi are sitting extremely tense and nervous, afraid of failing to stop the bomb. But unfortunately the bomb has risen higher than necessary, and the planes will not be able to reach that altitude, and they are forced to land because there is no hope. And on the other side, 12 finally opens his eyes, and finds Lisa sitting beside him, and when Lisa sees him alive, she cries from happiness and hugs him tightly, because she thought he was going to die. And after a while, the two of them sit together, and Lisa asks him, is 9 really going to destroy the world? And will we die because of the bomb? So 12 tells her, me and 9 never knew who our parents were, because of the cursed orphanage we were in. Even after we escaped together, we were always alone and no one wanted us, and 12 smiles and thanks Lisa for what she did with him. So Lisa looks at him with tears in her eyes and starts crying, before she also gives him a farewell smile. Suddenly, the bomb explodes in the sky, and all the people stop to watch that explosion in shock, and everyone cannot believe what is happening, or how they will live without technology around them. And after a while, all the electricity in Japan cuts off, and the aurora appears clearly for the first time in the sky. After some time passes following the explosion incident, the entire city becomes abandoned and empty of residents, all facilities and hospitals and also schools and police stations. Almost everything in the city has ended, and plants begin to spread over the buildings. So 9 appears heading to the orphanage, and when he enters the collapsed building, he sees the chess pieces scattered on the ground, and remembers his memories with 5. After that 9 goes outside the building, and sets up 24 graves for the children who were in the orphanage. And the last of them is 5, who killed herself in front of him, and while 9 is standing in front of the graves recalling his painful memories, 12 and Lisa enter, and 12 tries to talk to him, and tells him, 9, you were the one who used the hand grenade to stop 5 and let me escape, right? I knew that you were the only one who would do that. I owe you one. So when they hear that, Lisa looks at 12 and smiles at him, because 9 has forgiven him for what he did. After that the 3 of them begin to live a new life together, and finally they spend happy time all day. But with sunset everything changes, because Shibasaki comes to them, and tells them, I finally reached the place you wanted me to reach, the place where you started your lives, and through the atomic bomb explosion incident, the whole world became interested in you, and wants to know who Sphinx are, and where they came from. All media outlets want to know. Now if you are arrested, all truths will be revealed to people, and that was your goal from the beginning. So 9 replies, and there is something else. We needed someone to discover this goal and arrest us, and you were that person. You were Oedipus himself in our story. So Shibasaki smiles at them, pulls out his gun and points it at them, and tells them you are under arrest. But suddenly United States aircraft appear in the sky, and surround the entire place. So they look at each other very surprised, but Nine raises his hand, and is holding a device that controls bombs remotely, and tells them I planted a bomb in this country. And this bomb is located at the nuclear power station. I demand that you retreat immediately. So when Shibasaki and Lisa hear that, they are shocked. So the official in charge of the American forces orders the aircraft commander not to retreat, and tells him the existence of someone who knows the truth about the airport, or the kidnapping incident of 9 would be a big problem for us. Even if the bomb is real, we will not sacrifice our reputation to stop it. So the American forces open fire on 12. So 12 falls to the ground dead, amid shock and disbelief from everyone present. So 9 goes to 12 and kneels down, and cries intensely and screams loudly, but he quickly stands up and grabs the device, and looks into the eyes of the sniper who killed 12, with eyes full of rage. So Shibasaki runs to the sniper quickly and signals to him, and asks him not to shoot 9, before he talks to him first. And then Shibasaki tells 9 nervously, I will reveal everything in court. The goal you wasted your lives to achieve was not that your desire from the beginning. So 9 calms down a little, throws the device to Shibasaki, and tells him I will leave the rest to you. And 9 smiles at him a farewell smile, and suddenly feels a severe headache, and feels his consciousness fading, and 9 falls to the ground dead beside his lifelong friend. After 1 year passes, Shibasaki reveals the truths as he promised 9 and 12, in international and local newspapers, and also exposes the incidents of the American forces, and makes the world know about their actions. And on the other side, Lisa is standing in front of the graves of 9 and 12 at the orphanage, and then takes herself and leaves, and while she is on the road, she meets investigator Shibasaki, and thanks him greatly for what he did, and tells him I asked 9 about the songs he used to listen to, and he told me they were songs from cold countries, which is Iceland, and then he told me that the word Vion means hope in the Icelandic language, and Shibasaki stands listening to her, while contemplating all these meanings.